how everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, although it's very empowering to see everybody, to learn and, from good. It's been a
Yeah.
learning.
And what do you feel like the two sides are? The people who are fighting for Black Lives Matter and then the people who are more like on the police side, or are they just like what is your take on what the two
Yeah.
fighting sides are?
It seems though, because it's what people get confused is that it's really not a race issue. It's what's going on right now. It's more of like racist against everybody who isn't. It's not white anymore. Although the death of George Floyd and so many other police, that was a race. It was based on race, but the fighting really is just racist against people who aren't racist. It's not really black versus white. So I think that's what everybody has confused about, and that's kind of it's creating unnecessary tension. But when I go into the comment sections and I'm looking through it, it seems as though it is, people who are for ACAB and who are pro Black Lives Matter, and then people who just decide not to listen and don't understand why we're doing this. You know what I mean? So it's they're white nationalists or anything like that. It's just people who are taking their privilege and using it basically as earmuffs or just something to block out the noise.
Yeah. And have you had like your own personal frustration with people around you that don't get it?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Like I said before, I'm from North Dakota, and so most of my friends before they were never into, social justice, politics, or anything like that. But although there have been, a lot of people who have stood by the sides of so many like Black people and so many movements, there have been a few people who still don't really understand why we're doing this, and
Yeah.
it's going on if you don't educate yourself. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so don't really understand how necessary it is for us to talk about it if they understand why we're fighting so hard for it, if they don't understand how many Black people are dying and how corrupt the system really is.
Yeah. I guess as a, you're used to talking to a lot of young people. I'm sure you have a lot of young fans and from TikTok. Um, I mean, what is kind of the main message that you're hoping to get across to the people who watch your videos or discover your page? Like what you would say is what are you fighting for? The people who don't understand, what would you say to
I
those?
think about this question I get asked a lot, and I have a hard time trying to find the words for it, but it's because my page isn't just about Black Lives Matter. It's intersectional feminism, the war on disability. It's all of that. But it's oppression, the systematic oppression and systemic oppression. But I think the reason that I'm doing and what I want people to learn from this that you know human life will always come before anything else. You know what I mean? It should be, almost instant, like a feeling. Like it should be moral for you to want to help somebody in need or a group of people that are in need or a community.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's such a good point, and I feel like it becomes so about black and white and it seems like such a race war, but it really is just about there are people who want to help other people and then there are people that don't. And I think obviously it's so interesting what's happening right now. You're very clearly seeing the people who don't look at all of us as one human race and that they see a divide and they see a class system, and um it's kind of like we're weeding out the good from the bad in a way.
Yeah.
It's very, but it's kind of necessary, you're really seeing the people around you. And I'm lucky that all of my friends have reacted the way that I know that they would because they're all good people. Like I surround myself with good people and they all have responded to this movement so well. And I've not had like a bad egg in the group where I've been like, oh, you're secretly, not on the right side of history here. But yeah, I think a lot of people have been dealing with family issues in a way. issues in a way. You know, they're seeing their parents in a different light, and questioning, you know, the Thanksgiving probably going to be a little strange.
Oh, yeah, tension, definitely.
But I think, you know, it's like it's something to talk about. It's a challenge for people who, you know, the young people who've decided to educate themselves and take this upon themselves to try and like you said in your video, like just educate yourselves. That's if you can't donate, if you can't go to a protest, to educate yourself, how important that is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of spread that knowledge
Yeah.
with your family or friends wherever you can. Um, have you been experiencing, like, have you gone to any protests? I'm sure.
I didn't go to any protests. There has been one where I live, but the turnout was amazing. It was more than I expected, so I was
Yeah,
really proud of our city for that.
that's amazing. Um, well, I appreciate what you're doing on your platforms, being an influencer, um, and spreading the right message. I mean, is there anything else that you'd wanna add, that you'd want to tell young people who are listening and willing to learn?
Yeah, it's just really the main issue is, being able to create an opinion for yourself. And to create that opinion, you kind of have to look at a different lens. You have to look at the lens of the people who are being oppressed. For you to fully understand what's going on, you need to, because you, as a white person, you can't actually feel what a black person is going through. You can't really fully understand what's going on, but you can listen, and that's just as good, listening and learning and talking, and really that's going to help this divide that we kind of have.
Yeah, that's great advice. I appreciate that. Well, thank you so much for just hopping on here and chatting with me. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your activism and what you do on your platform. So keep doing that and keep educating people. And thank you again for coming on here.
Me.
Of course. Have a good day. All right.
Bye.
Yeah.